Hello and welcome to the 12th session of the DIMP Digital podcast. I'm your host Joe Appleyard and I'm once again joined by Christopher Loding and Joshua Hall. How are we doing, gents? Excellent. So I ask that every week. Logan, you normally go first and then Hall. That's sort of the unspoken rule. So
that is exactly what I thought, but then awkward silence.
Well, no,
because Hall likes to chime in normally, especially when he's really biting at the bit. Obviously, he's not biting at the bit to say hello.
I will make the assumption that you're both all right and that
I'm good, mate. Thanks for asking.
Good, mate. Yeah.
You're a bit more cheery this week, Logan, than last week.
Mate, I was fine. Get over it. Let's move on.
Definitely wasn't. Right. I wanted to address one thing right off the bat, actually. We've steadily been gaining some Twitter followers at DIMP Digital, so thank you all to those that are following, and please keep spreading the word. But we've had one particular follower that sort of appeared in the last few days or two called Chubby Teen Porn. So I just need to address it and get this out there. Which one of you two Burks have been using the DIMP Digital profile to look up this nonsense? Because those sort of followers are not what we need. Chubby teen porn.
I'm just going to go out on record and say I've got no passwords to any social media, as that would probably be quite a frequent occurrence if I did. So
yeah, that is true.
I am going to...
All falls to you, Logan. What have you been doing?
When you get to this level, you're going to get all sorts. So
I didn't follow him.
Accept them all.
I didn't follow him back. I didn't think it was appropriate, but we'll leave chubby teen porn for another day.
Is it just an isolated incident, or?
Yeah, it's the first one, but I expect it's going to be the start of many. If we get on those lists, then that's the end of it, innit?
It's all right, mate. Follower's a follower.
That's it. It all counts. Get the stats up. One piece of news I wanted to cover off quickly was to do with Dying Light. So that was due to... It should already be out by now, and it is already out if you are in America and you want to buy the box version. If you're over here in Europe, Australia, the Middle East, Asia, you can buy it digitally, but you can't actually buy the retail version. They've delayed this for another month, basically. So the 27th of February when it's going to actually be released. I mean, that is a massive balls up. I mean, Logan, you're normally a grumpy bastard at the best of times. Put yourself in the shoes of the people that have been waiting for Dying Light. You know, it's the first big game of the year for those guys. And you get the sort of news coming sort of a couple of weeks ago, or this week, saying... can't get the box version. You can download it for a tenner extra though on the store. What do you make of that?
Well, I'll tell you, in this day and age, I'd be fucking livid if they've run out enough. If they've gone, right, sorry, we haven't got enough plastic for the game, so we can't actually make it. You can release it, we've got it ready, but we've run out of plastic, we've run out of discs, so we can't make it. Sorry about that. I'll be like, well, what the fuck is that? Plastic everywhere, mate.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't even know. I think it's just they've just messed up the logistics somehow. They never really gave an excuse. And
I think if they're doing that, I mean,
what they're doing behind the scenes, if they're making a mess of that,
it's a bit of a mess. But you can forgive them if it's a good game. And they went, right, sorry, we've cocked it up. It's meant to come out on this date. If you've got a pre-order, then we'll let you have your digital download for the same price or something. You go, right, okay. But then don't just go, right, sorry, if you're in the US, you can have it. Everywhere else, well...
You're struggling,
just wait. And you're just like, well, I'd have waited then. I would have probably been my pre-order.
Well, this is going to cost them, isn't it? Because you think there's people that have pre-ordered the disc version that are waiting, and a month is a long time. I mean, between now and a month, there's going to be games like Bloodborne and The Order coming out and other games coming out. I mean, you might as well think, well, I'm not even going to bother with this. And if the reviews turn out to be bad... which I'm sure there'll be some of them. No game gets universal acclaim. It's a real good one. Then that's going to add to the misery, isn't it? Because you're going to look at the reviews and go, actually, that I've dodged a bullet there. The fact they've released that a month late.
People are very fickle nowadays, and they would bin something like that on.
Well, they need to be, really. You can't be getting away with this sort of this crap.
Especially like you, where you've had this really big backlog of games. If you've sort of gone, right, I'm going to get it there and I'm going to play it before such and such comes out, you might not now get around to playing it, or this may cost them. I mean, you just don't know, do you? But you'd like to think that they'd have made some sort of gesture. I mean,
they've given. To be fair, they have made a small gesture. They've given away the Beer Zombie mode for free. That was going to be paid DLC originally, but they said, "Oh, you can have that for free." So that's sort of just to make up for it for having it a month late. Or
is it going to be that good then? If they're giving it away.
Well, yes, that's a good argument.
It's just a worry. You go, well, we're giving you that free, but was it good in the first place?
I don't think much DLC is up to cop these days, if I'm honest.
It's not, mate. It's not.
It's not really good enough, is it? Well, yeah, I don't know if you had any thoughts on this, Hall. I mean, it's the first time I've heard this happen for... I mean, I know back in the day there used to be different regions getting games later, but that was a planned sort of movement. This is just a cock-up.
Yeah, it's a bit of an odd one, really, isn't it? Because if they'd have come out and said, actually, because we're not going to have the availability that we want, we're going to delay the whole release, everyone probably would have kicked off and gone, well, that's a load of shit.
Sure.
As it is, they've gone, right, okay, we've done something to fuck up. We're releasing it as best we can, and everyone's irritated. And then they've given, like Logan's just said, we want, like, they could have at least done something to apologise, some kind of gesture, and you've gone, well, they have, and we've gone, well, that's not good enough. No. So they can't win, can they? But
they've had a stinker, really.
It's a real big oversight. Like, I can't remember the last time. It's not even like you used to have game releases where you'd have to go to the store early because they wouldn't have enough copies.
Yeah.
That's not the case anymore. I can't remember the last time I went out and found it really difficult to get hold of a game. Admittedly, GTA. I don't buy that much. Yeah, but I don't buy that much at release. GTA was a bit of an exception because it was so anticipated.
Well, I don't agree with that. I think if you'd gone to Game Logan, you would have found GTA. You was trying to go around.
Yeah, you were going around supermarkets and stuff. To be fair, so it's just like for it not. That's them not being able to get enough copies together. For it not to be available at all is just a bit. I don't know. I mean, it's gonna hurt the credibility of the game for sure.
Yeah. I just can't fathom in this day and age what problem you can have like that. It must be either a transport or supplier issue. It can't be one or the other. No, I mean, they must be getting them produced in China, and the fucking boat they're using sunk or something, and all these copies of Dying Light are at the bottom of the fucking ocean. It is poor. I don't understand
what could possibly have happened, though, do you? There's obviously some reasoning behind it, but
yeah, it's not a PR stunt, is it? Going, it's make news.
It just is what it is, and you've just kind of, like I say, I mean, I'm not waiting for it. It's not like I'm on the edge of my seat, and then I've gone, oh shit. But I expect there are a lot of people that are like that, so. It's their own peril, isn't it? How many people they're going to put off by it remains to be seen, but we'll have to wait and see. It'd be interesting to see what the retail sales are.
Yeah, of course,
when it actually comes out.
Maybe
I think they might have discounted it on Steam as well. So I'm not too sure, but I've seen adverts for it on Steam. I haven't really paid that much attention to it. But.
No, I mean, the Steam discount a lot anyway. You'll always see them at a lower price for their digital. They're the sort of preferred platform for digital downloads, as far as I'm concerned. But they've had a nightmare of Dying Light, and it's something that's going to haunt them, I think, come sort of time to look at the finances, because people are going to lose interest, I think. Let's kick on with the main sort of feast of what we've got lined up today. About 10 days or so ago, Microsoft had their big Windows 10 reveal, and most of it was just for Windows 10, but there was a sort of 20-minute section dedicated to the Xbox One and the gaming side of things. So one of the first things they've mentioned is that Windows 10 is going to be put into the Xbox One as the operating system. Now, I don't know, I'm not sure what that really means, to be honest. They didn't really go any further into it. I don't remember them ever making the operating system a point on any of the Xbox consoles down the line. It's a bit of a moot point, but you never know. Maybe it'll improve the dashboard or fix that fucking upload that we've had a nightmare with, Logan. So if it's going to improve that side of things, then that could be helpful. But one of the major things they announced is that you're going to be able to stream your Xbox One games to any Windows 10 device, be that a tablet or a PC desktop or a laptop even. It seems like they're playing a little bit of catch up to the PlayStation Vita in terms of this remote play, and the PlayStation TV that's come out, and also the Wii U's gamepad. Logan, can you see this particular sort of feature being useful? I.e., you can switch on your Xbox One, and then say someone wants to watch the telly, you can go, oh, sorry, I've been there off, go on your laptop and play with your control and stream it to your laptop.
No,
well,
for me, I don't think it's going to be that much use. The one thing I was thinking for it would be to capture.
Yeah, they've mentioned that Windows 10 is going to come with its own inbuilt capture software as well. Now, I don't know what it means for any current software people have got, but that's a good point, that if you want to capture your Xbox One, maybe this will be a way around it rather than having to buy an actual device to do this. Although, if it's all built in like the uploader is, if you can only capture via the software, I mean, are we going to get the raw media file? Because it's a pain in the balls to try and get that at the moment.
They'll give you 10 minutes as well. They'll go, there you go, that's all you're getting.
Yeah,
but I think it's a step in the right direction for Microsoft, because I think they've been lagging on every front behind everyone almost. I mean, their operating systems have been lagging behind that of Apple's, and I think they've been struggling for a few years, and I think by the looks of it they're trying to now innovate and get in front of the competition. I mean, I think them introducing Windows 10 onto the Xbox One is an admission that they fucked up that operating system they've currently got on there. I mean, we've been beating that with a stick since it come out, really, and I don't actually think it's got any better. I think it's actually got worse. So
Wow.
I think that,
Phil Spencer be living with that.
well,
That sort of feedback.
I just think it's still very buggy. I mean, before this podcast, we were talking about how the party system's still naff on it and stuff.
Wow.
And I think it's not very quick. It's not very responsive. So I'm hoping that by them putting the Windows 10 on there, it'll be quicker, more responsive, and less buggy. So maybe that's a step in the right direction for them. But it's certainly sounding good.
So you don't find that you don't think the streaming sort of functionality is something that you'll use unless you can capture footage. I imagine that's the only reason you're going to be interested in that.
I don't understand why I'd want to stream it to my laptop. I'll just be streaming it to a smaller device, really. And nowadays, most people are using things like Netflix, iPlayer, and stuff like that, which are based on a laptop anyway. So I can't really see why you'd go from a TV to a portable device.
So say you're living in a flat, yeah, you've got one telly in the flat, your little 32-inch TV.
Yeah.
Mrs. comes home, goes, right, want my program on now. You're sitting there playing Titanfall or whatever you're playing. You can then say, actually, okay, that's fine now. I will just stream this to my laptop and finish it off on there.
No, you see, this is where everyone's got it wrong. Right, what you do is you go, fuck off, I'm playing Titanfall, you go and watch it on the laptop. Problem solved.
Well, I don't think everyone's in that situation. Hall, is this a feature that you could find useful in your household?
I think it's a fucking brilliant idea. I'm a big fan, especially, I mean, I obviously live quite a way away from my parents and generally go back for, you know, like holidays and bits and pieces or just like of a weekend or whatever. And packing up my Xbox One to take back with me is an absolute cunt ache. So by being able to just take back my laptop and a controller and knowing that I could still play any of my games just away from home.
I don't think that's the case, is it?
So,
I think you've really misunderstood that.
So
it
basically,
was an online stream.
No, not yet. My understanding is that you got to be on the same Wi-Fi connection as your Xbox. So
that just gives you another monitor.
Yeah, so basically, so it's also the fact that if your controls obviously powering up from you. Yeah, no, I mean, this is what I was going to come on to. I think something like a cloud-based client would definitely be far more useful.
That'd be really good because then you could play it wherever you are. You just take your laptop out with you. But I mean, on the same network, I mean, I don't know many households that don't have two televisions now.
No.
And
well, just think about what you suggested there and think taking your laptop and a controller, you're going to get a wireless.
Well, you can plug it in.
But yeah, you get controllers for your...
Oh, what you mean plug into your laptop?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, okay.
Come on, mate.
Yeah, I still had this image of you just sitting there with a wireless controller going, why is it not connecting to my Xbox?
Smashing it going, why anyway?
Yeah, no, but yeah, no. If it's in the same Wi-Fi network, I mean, I suppose it could have a bit of functionality, but if I wanted to like play in bed or whatever, but that's just fucking lazy, really, isn't it? Like,
you are a lazy bastard.
Yeah, well, I am. I mean, it would be nice to be able to wake up in the morning and just be like, right, laptop on, Xbox controller out. But I just, like Logan said, I just think it's a bit pointless.
What about you, Abs? What are you thinking?
I can see the uses for busy households for whatever reason. If your Xbox is plugged into the main TV downstairs, you've got kids running around, all that sort of nonsense kicking off, and I can see it being of use to someone who wants to play at one point and can't. I mean, my PlayStation 2 used to be downstairs in the front room for whatever reason. And I think it was to do with my telly upstairs didn't have the right SCART connection or some bullshit like that. But anyway, I could only play it on the TV downstairs. Now, obviously, I wanted to play Pro Evo constantly, and Sue and Keith were like, no chance. So there was lots of times where I couldn't play it. So something like this would have been really handy, because I could have gone, right.
Would have been really handy.
Yeah, 10 years ago, it would have been handy. But now that I'm an adult, I sort of go, right, I've got my own little space. I've got my own telly. I tend to agree. It's got its uses, but for me personally, at the moment, in my circumstances, it's not...
Until they make it an online anywhere feature, I don't see it getting much use.
No, I mean, imagine one day there being just a client that's like Steam, where it's in the cloud and you don't even have the physical console. Is that so?
I think that's where it's going, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when they were talking, I think it was before Windows Vista, and they were saying, when they were going to bring out their new operating system, there was talk then about you literally just having a monitor and you logging on effectively to a cloud. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's too far around the corner anyway.
Well, the only thing I'd say is I can't see them doing it, only because you think how much they charge for these bits of hardware we've all got sitting in our living room.
Well, you'd get charged a monthly fee or whatever.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe they'll bring it about that way.
That's what I'd expect. But another thing as well, if you're doing this streaming to another monitor effectively, so if you're going from your Xbox One onto your laptop, then that's going to affect your bandwidth. So
unlimited, mate. Not interested in that sort of bullshit.
I mean,
Come on.
I've had a brain meltdown.
Do you mean it'll be choppy and stuff and won't perform correctly? Is that what you mean?
Like if you're playing online and streaming, it's like having someone watching BBC iPlayer. So for example, my internet, which is like a maximum sort of 3 megabyte per second, sort of. Yeah, mate, that's on a good day. That is good. You look at that and you go, right, that's good. I can do something now.
Well, I'm not even sure you can.
So I'd be fucked.
Yeah, until they upgrade everywhere. I mean, it's not obviously wouldn't be so much of a problem. I don't know what apps is like, but I run at about 20 meg, so it's not really too much of an issue.
I've got
how have you survived this long on the 3 meg?
Yeah, and I like the fact that he blames the Xbox for his party issues. And as I said earlier offline, when I connect to you or Pete, it's fine. It's just when Logan gets involved, everything goes a bit wrong. And I look at the internet and I go,
for everyone.
Well, always online is what they wanted. That's where we go.
To be fair, the only people I have a problem doing it with are you and my brother, who's got probably equally poor as yours. Yeah. So maybe it is that.
That's the Costa, I'm afraid.
Fucking hell.
But yeah, I am with you though. It is still shit. So.
No one likes
So what we've established is that is a waste of time.
I don't think it's a waste of time. This for us personally, yes, but I think there's people out there that will get use out of it. There's people doing all sorts these days, and I think it'll be helpful for them if it performs correctly.
Sorry, I'll take that back as well. Sorry, because I want to be able to record. So do it.
It all comes into the Windows 10 though, and it just kind of makes me think like we're moaning about the Xbox current operating system. I wonder how much the Xbox was designed with Windows 10 in mind.
Maybe, yeah.
I think that's probably why, and they've gone, well, look, we'll patch it up with Windows 8 for the time being because we've got to get the console out.
We'll get it crawling over the line, staggering and stumbling.
Sting everyone in about 2 years' time with a Windows 10. It's a bit weird,
though, because I've got Windows 8 on my laptop, and it's not really like the, obviously,
it's console
fucking
dreadful.
It's terrible.
It's so bad. It's awful. I have it on my laptop, and it is a fucking horror show.
I must admit,
shittest operating system I've ever seen in my life.
I don't mind it. It's not amazing, but I don't mind it. But
fucking dreadful.
The one on the 7 better.
Yeah, it probably is. But the one on the Xbox is it's sort of halfway between a mobile version and sort of a desktop version. It's like a hybrid or something.
I don't know what it is. Yeah,
it's a mess.
They've never made a fuss out of it until now. And now they're like, "Oh, Windows 10's going." And everyone's like, "Hang on, what's in there now?" And
what happened to Windows 9? That's what they were asking.
Well, it's because 8 was so bad. They actually went, "Nope, we're just going to jump one. Otherwise, it'll seem too similar to 8." That is what I've heard.
Yeah. But everyone on 8 or 7 is getting a free Windows 10 upgrade. So
only for a year, though, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, I think so. It's only free for a year.
What, you get free for a year and then you're tied into it and they go, well, that's it. Now you've got to pay 300 quid or whatever.
I think so.
Fuck off.
I'll have to. Someone can correct me, but I think that's what it is. It's free for a year. Now, if that means you've got a year to upgrade, or whether it means after a year they go, right, license fee, I don't know.
That's what they'll do, because you're not going to just automatically downgrade, are you? And then you just stuck with it.
Think how much money they would lose if it was just free constantly.
I must admit, the impression I got was that they wanted to get more Windows 10 on more devices and get more developers developing for Windows now. So the way they wanted to do that, the way they wanted to do that was get more Windows 10 devices out there. So that was my understanding. But
all their tablets will be Windows 10 when they come out. But I think that it's only free for the first year, and then you get stung with a charge if you want to carry on.
If that's the case, I'll be
otherwise you would just buy like a Windows 8 sort of, wouldn't you? And why would you even buy Windows 10 ever? Because you just have to buy the 8 and upgrade.
Yeah,
they never make any money out of it, which is what they're after, really. But I think that about wraps up the sort of Windows 10 and streaming part of it. One of the other parts of the Windows 10 reveal was something completely separate. It wasn't in the gaming section per se, but it looked like it can cope, and it'll be in the gaming industry maybe one day. And it was something called the HoloLens, which is basically an augmented reality headset. Now, I had a little look at the presentation they did. I sort of understand what it is, but Hall, you say it looked fucking amazing. Can you just tell me why I should be really up for this and interested. From maybe, not necessarily from a game perspective, you think it can maybe offer a little bit more? Because I think this, to me, looks like it's more geared around everyday usage, and gaming is something that can maybe benefit from it on piggyback onto it.
Yeah, it is used more, I suppose, in terms of a more of a computing side of things. So, you probably wouldn't be used for gaming immediately.
No.
But I mean, I don't know how much you've seen of the like Sony's version of the Project Amorphous or whatever it was, and the
Oculus Rift, yeah.
Yeah, the Rift.
So they're both virtual reality, aren't they? So they're on top of your head. This is holograms and augmented reality. So it's your environment that's been populated with.
I think that's
objects.
The big difference, in that you could wear that and theoretically wander around without the fear of walking into stuff.
Sure.
The thing is, with the other two, you kind of look and you think, well, that's stupid. Like, if I went to walk somewhere, I'd just batter into a wall.
Yeah.
Whereas this is augmented. Now, how well it all adapts to your surroundings, obviously, it looked quite impressive in the video that we watched. But that said, they're not going to fucking paint it. Like, I mean, the Xbox One looked really good in the videos that they fucking made. So, and look how that went. But I just think it's going to be quite a cool little addition. I like the idea of having, things that you effectively, like displays that you've got that can go onto the walls that are in your house or whatever. I think it's just quite once again, it's an unnecessary piece of shit, really, isn't it? But that's kind of what attracts me to it. I like that about things, just little fucking unnecessary gadgets. So if people came over, I could be like, put this fucker on, look at this.
Look at the world I've created in my own living room.
Yeah, exactly.
Cortana's over there, she's stripping.
Yeah, look at all this stuff that I could 3D print if I forked out the fucking $6,000 for a 3D printer. Oh.
I'm surprised you haven't got that. You got a bloody t-shirt printer lying around somewhere.
Mate, that was just some paper and an iron. Went serious. Big spender. But no, like I say, I like the idea of it, but until it has more practical uses, obviously I wouldn't get one straight away, because it'll probably have some astronomical price tag on it as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, do you think it'll work for gaming? Because I saw they didn't really, in this presentation, they didn't really, as I said, it's more for everyday use and whatnot. But could it work for something like? I can't see it working for all games, but there's going to be some.
It'd be difficult. Like, you think of it in terms of maybe certain puzzle games or stuff like maybe Little Big Planet. For the PlayStation. Like, if you could have like a little character that you could climb around your physical world around you. And you could change bits of it by knocking stuff over in the actual real world. I think that would be quite cool, but
it's not going to work for a Call of Duty.
Well, I mean, unless you had like, you wouldn't own one. That's the thing. Like, if you could go to an arcade which has like an area set up which is designed for a specific game to go with it, and then obviously you play in that game area against other people in that game area. Yeah. But I mean, you'd have to have a massive space, and you'd have to have 10 or 12 headsets or whatever. It'd just be, I think it's
digital warehouse, sort of a new business venture for us, maybe.
If you want to make the initial outlay to buy all those fucking headsets, then feel free. But I don't see it having anything for sort of the Call of Duties or anything just yet. So we'll have to, unless, like I say, they make a mix of that and the holodeck that they were talking about, and your surroundings become a virtual environment. But
yeah. But for now, it looks like it's going to be just this HoloLens for now. But Logan, did you get to see the actual presentation for the HoloLens?
Yes, I did. Yeah,
you did. And what are your thoughts on it? Did you understand the concept of it and understand how it could be useful? I mean, in terms of gaming, was that something that you would ever entertain? I know you like your controller and your telly.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's a little bit ahead of its time. I mean, I still. Like, you've got all this motion and speech recognition and everything now. It seems to be the way forward. But I still don't use it. Like, I never use any of the gestures or anything still for my Xbox. I can either spend ages faffing around waving at bloody Connect, or I can just press A on my controller.
Talk to it.
Or then I've got to shout at it and it don't understand or something. I don't know. I still think it's technology yet to be perfected. But from looking at it, it looks like, I mean, they're basically bigging this up as the new PC. So you won't have a screen and a keyboard.
Yeah.
You will have this on your head and do everything. But I don't really see how. I can't imagine sitting there. Yeah, I can't imagine sitting there and typing or I can't imagine sitting there and do you know what I mean?
That would be
I know
so
with-
weird. Yeah, you're right.
I know I've strayed.
You wouldn't be able
off.
to.
It's
I don't
not
think you'd be able
gaming
to,
related.
you wouldn't be able
but-
to do it. Well, the thing is, I think this is more, as I mentioned at the time, I think this is something that gaming could maybe benefit from. As Hall said, these certain puzzle games. But I think in general, this piece of tech is going to be more useful for firms or whatever that are looking
Computer
to do.
users,
Yeah.
Well,
it's-
I've seen some pictures actually of them doing. I don't know if it's them or it's a representation of them, but actually playing Minecraft. So
yeah, I think, yeah. I don't know. It might have been. I think it might have been. It's made by the people from Minecraft. I'm not sure it was actually Minecraft. It's something called like Hollow Build or something. But the people behind Minecraft helped them demo that up. But I don't know. When I watched that, it looked a little bit odd. Just the way it was all there. I didn't really understand what he was doing. Just sort of knocking stuff over. I was like, right, where's the character?
They're going to tie it in though, aren't they? Because they bought fucking Minecraft and then gone, oh shit, actually everyone already owns this game, so we've just spunked out Notch is in his fucking mansion cackling to himself.
Yeah, he's in the Beverly Hills Mansion, loving life.
Couldn't be happier.
I mean, I think the problem is they've now got this technology, but they don't know what to do with it. So like we've done it, but right, what should we do? Oh, we'll make a 3D print of a quadricopter or something.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
right, well, what good is that? It's good you can do it. Don't get me wrong, fair play. You've done that. I couldn't do it, but you have. Congratulations. But what am I going to do with that quadcopter?
And
I ain't got a
the thing-
3D printer. What am I
They
supposed
say
to
on
be doing
that
with
as well,
this?
there's no way it's printed that fucking. It's not printed the fucking motors, has it, or the
No.
battery?
No.
So that's actually horse shit. That's not what she's printed at all. That's what she's printed, and then you've edited it a load. You've added in fucking motors and shit. So don't give me any of that crap.
And another thing that I noticed as well that annoyed me is it's not solely just with sort of motion control. You have to audibly tell it to do things.
Yeah,
So it's not saying you can sit there. You can't secretly silently sit there at 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock at night.
Silent Logan doesn't want to talk
but
to anyone.
everyone imagine your household is silent and you're sitting there and all of a sudden you're going glue, stick, fuck off, whatever you like.
Shut
You just
faster.
you can't just press a fucking mouse button. You've got to shout at it to tell it to do something. I just thought,
Interactive porn
fuck,
possibilities you can have with that.
suck.
Yeah, exactly.
My goodness.
We-
It's something
I'm
that's.
just saying. It's obviously what it's going to be used for by
I
lots
know.
of people, isn't it?
Yeah. But as soon as it's released, there'll be a YouTube
Reality.
video up. Bloody chubby teen porn. They'll be fucking
Yeah,
firing up with this fucking AR
It all
shit.
fucking ties in. This is where we have this set agenda. This was all planned to lead back to chubby teen porn.
We've done well.
Unbelievable.
Good.
Right, that's enough on augmented reality. It's gone off the boil, that one in particular. One of the last things they had at this reveal, or whatever they want to call it, was that Fable Legends, which is one of the Microsoft exclusives, is going to be cross-compatible with the Xbox One and PC players. So essentially, PC players are about to play with their Xbox One counterparts on there. Now, this is not new. This is there's games like Portal 2, which had it for the PS3 and the PC, so you could play against PC or play with PC players if you had your PS3. And I know that Street Fighter 5 has been announced as an exclusive on the PlayStation console, but again, you can play that with your PC counterparts. Now, what you'll find in all these cross-compatibility sort of versions that I've given is that it's always PC and one other console. Now, what on earth do we make of that? That the other two, Microsoft and Sony, can make this happen for all intents and purposes. From what I've read, from what I know, that they could make this happen if they wanted to, but they don't want to play ball. They don't want you playing with me, Hall, on my PS4 whilst you're on your Xbox One.
Of course not.
No, I mean,
It's a real
what a bunch of-
bugbear.
yeah. So what do you make of this cock blocking, Logan? Because I can tell you're livid about this
Oh.
to a certain extent.
Well, it's just all it boils down to is Microsoft wanting people to get their consoles and PS wanting them to get their consoles. That is all
Yeah.
it boils down to. So it's just this wall that they're putting up to go, well, if you get that, then you can't play with your people on the PS4 or whatever. And I don't understand, because for cross console games, so Call of Duty, for example,
Yeah.
I don't understand what is to be lost by it, because unless they're going, well, for example, I go, right, okay, I've got the Xbox to play with Hall.
Yeah.
Maybe if that was the case, I'd have got the PS4 and gone, well, it doesn't matter, I can still play with Hall, but I'll get the cheaper console or the one that's better or whatever.
So this is why, say for example, in Microsoft's shoes. They're protecting their market, aren't they?
Essentially.
As you said there, Logan, that you said you only got the Xbox to play with Hall. Now, if it was possible to play cross-platform, then they've potentially lost you as a customer, because they know how important peer pressure is and how important it is for people to be playing with their friends, be social, and be plugged into to their mates. That's something that sort of exploded, especially in the last generation. I think they both realise that, and they're protecting their. But
it's vice versa as well. So the ones that lose something else, so they get something from the PS4. But I think it'd ultimately level out, and I think.
Well, everyone would have a PS4, mate.
And that's yeah. And I don't mind it for certain games, but I don't like the idea, not just cross-platform, but on PC, of first-person shooters. That's a real concern for me, because it's much easier with a mouse and keyboard to be quicker, to be more accurate than it is with a controller. I don't care what anyone says. You're going to have exceptions, but
you're going to get sodomised, aren't you? If you want.
Yeah.
I mean, at the same time, that's the same for everyone. So if you think that's the case, then just go and play on PC.
Well, no, because I would have done that, but I want to play on a console. I don't want a gaming PC. I've got a console.
Yeah, but you see what I mean? Like, the option is there for you.
I want to play with a controller.
Well, get a controller.
I can't have a fucking mouse and keyboard with my console.
Yeah, but you can't moan that they've got an advantage when you've got the same advantage. You're just not taking advantage of it.
No, right. Some people will be better. I think I'd be better with a controller, because that's what I've been using. Yeah, but some people would be far better with a mouse and keyboard, because if you play Counter-Strike or anything at any point, it is easier for you just to move a mouse in an instant than it is for you to dabble with two analog controllers. That's my opinion. So I would be concerned.
I get what you mean.
So hang on, you said it's a bugbear not having cross-compatibility, but now you're saying you don't want it with PC. You want to exclude the master race from this.
Well, this is the problem with it. I don't think there's any reason for PS4 and Xbox not to be cross-platform on all games. That
I've just gave you the reason to protect the market.
I know, but they'd use the same server, and I think that's what bugs me, is they're just doing it to protect themselves rather than thinking of the gaming community as a whole.
Well, that doesn't exist. That particular fantasy does not exist.
In my ideal, it should exist.
And it'd be a real big deal as well, having an exclusive game if stuff was cross-platform, because your exclusive games are pretty much your only reason then for someone to buy your console, aren't they? So it all leads in again to what Appleyard's saying, of they want to protect the purchase of their console.
Yeah, they will definitely have a lot more weight to them, because that will be.
I think how it is at the moment is better for the producers and the developers and everything, so it's more money that way. But I think ultimately it would be better for the actual gamer if it was the other way around. So at the minute,
no PC players though.
Well, they can
fucking ban them. Is that what you're saying?
They can play shit games that don't matter, like Minecraft and whatnot. But first-person shooters, I think that's where they should be banned.
Well, I can't say I agree with that at all.
You could have separate lobbies, couldn't you?
What's that? Sorry, Hall?
You could have a separate lobby, couldn't you?
Yeah, cool. I mean, that's the option. Wouldn't you say PC players only or console players only?
You have a console players only, and then you have a PC players only, and then you have a mixed one. So you've got a choice, I suppose. But
yeah, there's no reason why they couldn't have different sets of servers depending on what you want to play with. As I say, all it is just the barriers that they've put up. There's no other reason not to do it.
It ain't happening, essentially.
No, it's not.
The long and short of it.
Not in the near future, I don't think.
Unless Microsoft buy out PlayStation, someone have that as a separate brand. No, it's not happening unless they're both under one ownership.
$2 billion on fucking Minecraft. Think how much it cost them to buy Sony.
Lots, far too much. But that about wraps up the actual Xbox. Well, it wasn't Xbox, it was the Windows 10 reveal, all that nonsense that spawned out of that. But let's change gears. I mean, me, Hall and Piper went to a pub in London called Meltdown. Now, basically, if you've not heard of it, it's like an esports pub where you can enter tournaments. They have consoles set up there for you to play. Piper documented our visit and Hall's tournament performance on Hearthstone. So make sure you check out the digital YouTube channel, have a watch of that. It's quite fun if I say so myself. But Hall, you were there. You seem to be really enjoying yourself. What did you make of Meltdown itself, and then perhaps the potential of these other establishments that might be set up in a similar sort of way of this, sort of like going down that route?
I really enjoyed it. I think that there is, I mean, obviously it helps, because I'm obviously a gamer, so I'm going to have a slightly disjointed view. Like, I showed the video of the vlog to my missus, and she literally looked at me like, that looks like hell on earth. Like, I can't think of anything worse. it's obviously quite a niche market they're appealing to, but there is a lot of gamers out there, and we're really crappy at being social generally. You know, we were just talking about how big online gaming's getting. Why not have a place where you can play in effectively what is a LAN, even if it is over online, but it works as a local area, to play against one another. I mean,
I got to get out of bed, haven't I?
Yeah,
got to leave the house.
True, but I mean, you've also not got the worry of
Logan's internet connection ruining it.
Exactly. It's nice to have a crisp internet connection on a decent computer that can run a game to its full potential, meet other people you can discuss the game with. Like, I've been talking about Hearthstone for a long time, and it only recently Logan's got it and started playing it, and Piper's just picked it up today. So, you know, I've been harping on about it for ages, trying to discuss it, and no one's had a clue about it. And now, obviously, when we went there, you know, everyone around knows a lot about it, knows the tactics and bits and pieces. It's quite fun to just have a bit of a chat about it more than anything else. So, I mean, for me, I really enjoyed it. And then there's obviously the nostalgic side of things as well, where people have brought, like, there's one guy that took along his own N64 to play Mario Kart on, and it's just like, it's quite cool, you know. It's nice little, it's something a bit different compared to the usual go out to a bar. It's overly crowded. You don't really get loads of people there because
it's a niche.
Yeah, exactly. But if you walked in from the outside thinking it was just a pub, you'd soon realise.
You go, what is all this going on?
Yeah, because it is cables and monitors everywhere. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I mean, I had a good laugh. I thought the Hearthstone tournament was good fun. I'd definitely go back. In fact, I probably will do for the next tournament. So.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed my time there. It was good just chatting to people. Everyone was really friendly and sort of open. And I don't know, I had this perception that it's going to be a bit of a click down. Yeah, big Arthur, if you're listening. He got further than you though, mate. So that's the signature of it all, Team Arthur.
I don't know.
But yeah, what I found I thought was surprised me slightly was how open people were and how sort of friendly they were. I was expecting it to be sort of a bit clicky, if you know what I mean, because people have been going down there for weeks on end, and you get these sort of clicks for them. But there was none of that at all. Everyone was happy to have a chat with you and talk bollocks, and we were all fucking about with our cameras, shoving it in people's faces and whatnot, and they didn't seem to mind too much.
Yeah, and I mean, even like I say, the person that took their N64 down, they had 3 players but a 4th controller. I just bowled up to them and said, "Yeah, can I play?" And they were like, "Yeah, of course." So
you were then the only one screaming and shouting when you won, though. Sort of like looking at you, going, "What is going on there?"
Smearing it in their faces.
And then you went and got some Jaeger bombs, so you sort of ruined the nice gaming touch of it by turning it into a night of booze. But I don't know what sort of clue you was having there. Logan, you've not been to one of these places. I don't know if I think you must have gone to an old internet cafe back in the day with Hockley and Co. Am I correct in assuming that, or did you never go? Have you never been to an establishment where, you know, you're all gaming together with people actually there around you?
I was going to say, I effectively done this without the booze when I was probably 12, 13 maybe. I can't remember how old I was, but I think it was Wire World, I think it was called.
Wire World, and there's Rhodes Asylum as well. I think you lot were in Wire World, and I was the Rhodes Asylum guy. So
I was Wire World, and I used to really enjoy that there. It was good fun. LAN gaming's always obviously good because you know who you're playing against and stuff. I used to love it down there when I was younger. I think it's definitely an interesting concept because that's basically a pub with gaming in it. So that's a bit of a different play on it, but I'd be interested in going down there. As I say, I'd be a bit not wary of the people that are there, but
wary.
Not wary is a wrong word.
Be careful. Be careful about what you're going to say because this could go wrong. What do you mean? These poor people, they're harmless.
No, I think as you said, just that sort of people keep themselves to themselves or whatever. So if it's open, friendly, then that's good.
The nerd.
The trouble is, when you walk in, they probably will shun you. That's the trouble. When they see the state of you, they're like, Jesus, who's this crackhead?
Don't think that's fair. Not interested.
One of the things that I said about it was that there was some people there who were doing an interview for like their university shit or whatever. And the thing that I said to them was that the thing is with gamers, generally they are a bit sort of, you know, shy and recluse to a certain degree. I know that's a certain stereotype, but a lot of people kind of keep themselves to themselves, especially a lot of the PC gaming community. And it's nice
this is really just
attacking the PC. Yeah. They're getting a shoe in, aren't they?
Really, I mean, I think it's fair. You know, a lot of people, if I'm meeting new people, I don't go up to them and go, "All right, what are you into?" And they say whatever, and then I go, "Oh, I fucking love computer games," because they'll just be like, "Right, well, you're a nerd." it's not something you open with, is it? You say, "Oh, I like sports," and drinking, women.
Basically, this is a place you can release your inner nerd and drink.
Yeah, it's
like your ideal spot to go.
It's similarly
minded.
Yeah, there you go. That's the word that I was looking for, but I couldn't think of it. I got the "l" and that was it.
Decent effort though.
I think places like that, unfortunately, have died a death. With internet connections getting better and the rise of online gaming, I think those places have almost died a death. So it's nice to see them making a comeback to a certain extent and people actually going there.
Well, that's what I was going to say, actually, yeah, because you're right, the internet cafes are pretty much gone now. You don't see a lot of that, and this is more of a modern take, I suppose, and more of a, I don't know, maybe a mature take, because it's a pub, really, at the end of the day, so you're only going to get people that are probably 18 and over there, so you're going to get mature people in there that are older, whereas I think in the internet cafe, obviously, we was 12, and we was running right in there squawking. I don't think if we went there now, at this age, and there's over 12-year-old, you'd be like, what on earth is this? I'll get this online.
Spitting pot noodle out over on keyboards.
Yeah, they used to give. The thing is, though, they used to give you like greasy chips to it. I just think you're costing yourselves here, lads. 'Cause I'm getting all this salt all down the keyboards. All my greasy hands are over the mouse.
It's the same with beer, though, isn't it? I mean, I had a pint sat next to about God knows how many grand of equipment, and I was just thinking, God, don't spill that whole whatever you do.
Oh dear. So yeah, I think there's certainly a place for them, and I'd be happy to see more of them pop up sort of more locally.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
The only one I know of, well, that's the more sort of local one for us. We obviously live in Essex. Hall lives in London, so London's local for him. But for you, Logan, who don't work in London, it's a bit of a sickener if you wanted to go and visit this place because it's in and out and whatnot. So it'd be nice if some of these popped up our way a little bit more. And then put a play on it. I mean, you're going back, Hall. You entered the Hearthstone tournament. Now, Hearthstone itself is something that's sort of, as you alluded to, Logan's now playing it. Piper's on it now. Logan, you've posted a video on this, haven't you? By the time this drops, your video on Hearthstone will be live.
Yeah.
Piper's commented how addictive it is. Now, I've not been bitten by the bug itself, but for you, Logan, what is drawing you into Hearthstone at the moment? Because when Hall first mentioned Hearthstone last year, you were a bit clueless like Andre. You actually said, I'd been that. Nobody cares whatever game this is. That was your exact sort of comment on it. And now you're sitting there trying to get lessons off Hall to help you through it. So what's changed your mind? They actually sat down and played it. And don't get out of that comment because that is word for word pulled.
No.
I checked. I've wasted time doing that. So come on.
No. I felt it keeps cropping up, and Hall's playing it a lot, and I thought, right, me and Hall generally are pretty similar with our gaming tastes. So
you like what Hall likes, that's the fact.
We're pretty similar with our gaming tastes. Wow. So I thought, right, okay, I think we were texting each other one day, and you just said to me, just download it, it's free. So I thought, right, okay, well, I'm not doing anything, I'll give it a go and see what it's actually like. It takes a bit of getting into it to learn what's actually going on. But I don't know for me personally whether it's got much longevity in it.
Jesus.
But it's relatively, it doesn't require you to pay an awful lot of attention. You can sort of see what's going on. You can look at it. It's one you can sit there in the evening when you're a bit knackered after work, play a few games and then just put it down. Or you could, it's a pick up and put down game.
It is a mobile game. It's designed for mobile platforms.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's got that, like Logan said, it's got that kind of short term, in the same way that you play Football Manager, it's got that pick it up.
I massively disagree.
Well, no, because, I mean, what I mean is you have Football Manager running all the time, but you have it alongside other games.
Yeah.
I would play Hearthstone alongside other games, just have it in the background or whatever. I have it while I'm watching TV, which is similar to, I expect, what you do with Football Manager. I'd be surprised if you kind of sat down with Football Manager and had nothing else on the go and you put in like a 3-hour stint on it or whatever. You might do it for short periods where you're scouting out players or whatever, but you see what I mean about how
I think that's what most normal people would do with Football Manager. But
well, you've played 1,000 hours of it, so I don't think that's normal.
Yeah, well, this is what I'm saying. So let's not use that comparison.
All right, yeah, but you see what I'm getting at, kind of.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, no, I do.
It is a good game to kind of pick up and do a little bit on, and then not too much more.
So my question is, does it not have legs to sit there and play for 3 hours or whatever? Does it not have that?
It could
some games you can lose yourself. Because I agree with the Football Manager analogy to a certain extent. Is that you could go on there, play one game, bin it off. If I won, I'd bin it off when I used to play it. If I lost, I'd have to play till I won. Whereas, but equally, I could sit there for a whole Saturday going, just clicking through and bankrupting my club slowly. Does this have that sort of longevity in it that you could play it for a long time as well? Or is it, as you guys have said, it's pretty much maybe a couple of games here and there? Because Hall, using that tournament, I mean, I know you wasn't playing all the time, but that took a good 3 hours, didn't it? 2.5 hours.
Well, I mean, that's obviously a bit of a
longer time.
kind of because you're thinking about turns, etc., a bit more as well. One of the things that I think they've got right in Hearthstone to try and encourage people to put in those stints is basically the way that it works is when you're playing competitive online, you have a ranking system. So you start at rank 25, and then the idea being you work all your way up to rank 1, and then beyond rank 1 is legend, and that's the top ranking, and then you get
a big boy.
Yeah, you get an official placing of where you are in your region. Obviously, before that, in the rankings, you could have fucking thousands of people on rank 1, but there's only an X amount of people who make legend rank, so you know exactly where you are. But it resets every single month. So reaching the end of January, it will reset, and you'll go. You get moved back a relevant amount of ranks. So, for example, I'm currently.
So it's not a complete reset. It's not back to 25.
No,
it's say
I'm
5 or 10.
I'm currently rank 8, so I'll probably go back to about 18 or 19 or something like that, and have to start again from there. And the thing is with that is it means that I now know, like say for example, now I know there's only a few days left until the end of the month. If I want to get up to a decent ranking, I'm going to have to put in some hours and put in some gameplay to obviously win those games to get onwards and upwards. So I think that's quite a clever way in which they've done it to encourage people to actually put a bit of a grind in and get there. Plus, obviously, the more you play, the more gold you earn and the more cards you can open by opening packs.
Yeah, I mean, it does sound interesting, but for me, I just don't think I'm going to get into it. That's just, I don't diss the game, say it's a shit game or anything like that. For me, I just don't know if I'm going to appeal to it. I've not got a laptop, so I've got to sit there at a desktop playing it.
iPad, mate.
I haven't got a tablet, mate. I've got a phone that's as big as a tablet, but it isn't a tablet.
It is out. It's out on phone.
Well, it needs to come out on Android then.
It's out on Android. Came out 3 weeks ago.
Mobile?
Yep.
I'm pretty sure it's not out.
It is 100%.
When did that come out?
About, like I say, no more than maybe 2-3 weeks ago. Came out on Android.
In any sense of it, I'm not going to play it at the end of the day. But
on your phone,
as you guys,
easy.
It's not happening. But I think it's great that the game's so simple. It's getting so much attention and getting so much critical acclaim. It's as you say, it's a straightforward sort of card game that has, I imagine, again I'm guessing here, lots of depth in terms of the way you play and your strategies and whatnot. And if you want to sit there and think about your terms and really get into it, you can. But equally, you could just, as you said, play it casually whilst you're doing whatever with your telly and watching that.
Yeah.
Now I know that Hearthstone does have some microtransactions in it, and we actually had a question from Mr. Dinner Dumper, and he asked us in general, what do you guys think about microtransactions? Now, I don't want to attach this label because I imagine what we're going to say could be quite negative, just specifically to Hearthstone. So, Hall, can you just explain what the system is with Hearthstone, how their particular version of microtransactions work, so that we don't just attach this negative concept to them?
Yeah, okay. So I obviously mentioned then about playing to earn gold to buy cards. Basically, the way that the game works is you start off with X amount of basic cards, but obviously to get the better ones, you would have to buy a pack of cards, similar to which you would buy, like, say, for example, Pokemon cards or like football stickers or whatever you want to compare it to. And to buy those cards, basically, if you win 3 games in online, then you would get 10 gold, and then 100 gold buys you 1 pack of cards. Right. So it can be quite a long grind. You get 5 cards per pack that you buy. And now, I mean, take for example the new expansion that's just come out, there's 128 new cards. So you're looking at quite a lot of packs, and that's presuming that you get unique cards in every pack, which you obviously won't. Like, you're looking at a lot of packs that you have to open before you get
all the cards. Can you trade the cards?
Basically, once you've got 2 of each, so you can have a maximum of 2 in your deck of each card. Anything beyond that, you can dismantle it and then use the dust that you get from dismantling it to create new cards. But obviously at a considerably worse exchange rate. It's about 1 to 4 or whatever. So the idea of the microtransactions in it is you can actually buy the packs of cards. So rather than forking out and waiting and keeping working to get 100 gold together, for £1.99 you can actually just buy straight up 2 packs of cards.
Right,
So
I see.
it's £1 a pack in effect. Obviously, if you buy in bulk, then you can get more quicker,
cheaper,
and cheaper. But like a lot of people, especially there's a lot of streams and a lot of YouTube channels that do purely pack openings. So you might have someone that buys 100 packs and then just opens them one after another just to see what they get. So
I got you. Okay, so there's microtransactions in there, but they, to be fair, they appear in a lot of games these days. GTA Online has them. You can buy shark cards to get your in-game currency up, although they give away 500,000 like it's going out of fashion, GTA Online, for making up for delays and whatnot. A new Sony game, H1Z1's come out. That was supposed to be a free-to-play game, but it's got the caveat is that if you want better weapons, you're going to have to buy them through microtransactions. And it's most common, I'd say, in terms of mobile games. You see a lot of them. Logan, what's your opinion on overall on these microtransactions? Are they now an acceptable type of feature to have in a certain type of game, or is it across the board should be outlawed and it's a disgrace?
I think they've got their place. I mean, if you get a game that's free to play, someone has put their time and effort into developing that game for you to play. So I don't necessarily disagree with them saying if you want to do X, Y, or Z, or if you want this or that, then give me a couple of quid. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I mean, for example, I play a couple of games on my phone, Boom Beach and Clash of Clans. Now they're free to download. You're not under any pressure or anything to pay for anything. But if you want, for example, 1,000 gems, it's £8.
Done. Sold.
But you don't really get a lot for that. So I think that comparatively is quite dear. But then it's up to me whether I want to do that. I haven't, for the record, haven't bothered.
Wow.
Not needed. But I don't really agree with it in the bigger titles that you pay for. So, for example, your Call of Duties, your Gears of War, your FIFA. I don't think they've really got a place for it. I don't think they should be saying, well, if you want this camo or whatever, or if you want that or this map, do a microtransaction for it. I don't necessarily agree with that.
That's more DLC though, isn't it? The mats.
Sorry, I didn't.
With FIFA though, I don't play FIFA Ultimate Team. I know you was obsessed with it for a little while.
I've plundered some money into that.
So yeah, I mean, see, my problem is again, I agree. If you pay £40 for a game, then I don't think there should be any microtransactions in there. So although in saying that, I think as long as you don't have to make the microtransaction pay out to have a decent experience of the game, then I don't tend to mind too much. In terms of FIFA specifically, did you have to do that? Or would you have made enough progress unless you put in a stupid amount of time to make it playable to a certain extent?
Now, my personal opinion is that they've made Ultimate Team now. Ultimate Team has got to a point where you really need to plunder some money in it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can start at a point with it, but everyone else now, it's become almost the norm. So by the time I got to Ultimate Team, I was so behind. I mean, I didn't put any money into this one because I've decided, right, it ain't worth it. I don't play it enough. But previous Ultimate Teams, like they did things like they'd do random events, if you like, where you were guaranteed X amount of gold cards.
Yeah.
So you get only gold players for like X amount of... I don't think they had FIFA points back then, but you could buy a pack for like 150 or £4 or whatever, and you'd be guaranteed players and stuff. And I just think when they're doing stuff like that,
it's scandalous, isn't it?
It's just when you think about it, and it's not just because I'm capable of making that decision for myself, whether I want to use my card or not to do that, and I know how much money I've got. But you're going to have kids out there going, "Oh, mummy, Brandon's bloody got all these cards and da-da-da, I want it, I need it, and da-da-da." And then there's pressure on the parents and stuff to make their kids...
their cards.
Yeah.
You might not even get the fucking card you want. That's the only thing. That's a certain thing I don't like is when you're buying packs and whatever, is that you don't know what you're getting for your money, do you? Essentially,
it's a gamble.
You could end up gambling. Dross. Well, to a certain extent, you are gambling, you're right. And I think it's... In some mobile games, I'm not sure if it's as common as it used to be. I remember it used to be you've only got a certain number of moves or lives you can use.
Candy
in the
Crush
first
is the
12.
worst.
Yeah, so would you get 2-3 lives or something, and then you have to wait a day where you can buy lives for whatever it is, 99p, and it's shit like that can cost people because, as you said, it's kids now all the time. If they've not got a console, they're on a tablet pissing around on something, and if you've got your card details in there, they could quite easily do it themselves.
There's a kid that racked up like 70 grand of bills, wasn't there? That was in the news ages and ages
just
ago.
to defend consoles and stuff, there are settings on there, parental settings, which prevent it. But if parents or whatever are morons or whatever, and they don't
it's
do
not
this,
just that. I think you raise a good point about if they're being pressured by their child to have this.
And there is a lot of peer pressure amongst kids for that sort of stuff. So
and at the same time, you got like the idiot kids who, like, I don't know, maybe hit like 16, 17, just get a card for the first time and then think, I'm going to fucking buy myself some shit on Xbox Live and just cost themselves. So,
but some of it's so stupid as well. I remember Gears of War, and I remember when we were playing that probably a couple of years ago now, and I remember they never used to really dabble in all that stuff, I don't think. And then there was, I think it was Gears of War 3 that come out, and there was so much customization gear. And it was phenomenal. I think it was like £2 or something for one gun camo or something. I thought, fucking hell.
That I don't mind so much, because you could only get that by buying it. So if I bought it, I can rain it over the people who haven't bought it and be like, right, well, I've got this fucking camo on my gun. What aggravates me is stuff like FIFA Ultimate Team, where there is some people that will just get things quicker by buying them.
It snirks me off, actually, because one thing I do hate, I remember on Call of Duty 4, obviously there was none of that, and the ultimate goal was to get headshots and stuff to get your gun camos. And it was like, and I remember going to private lobbies and stuff, and all we'd do, me and Pete or me and you or whatever, would just sit there for hours or whatever, just doing it, or through games, just getting our gun camos. And it was just that...
It's the sense of achievement for unlocking stuff.
And I think they've taken that away by going, well, I mean, even on Advanced Warfare, you can now just go in and just buy a gun camo. And I just think, give me the sense of, I mean, I'd never do it now.
Challenge, but
I just think now you can, rather than looking at someone and going, oh, fair play, he sat there for X amount of time and got his headshots or whatever, now you just sit there and go, well, he's clearly just got mum's card and just bought it. And I just think...
What I will say in defence of these types, not in defence, but there's a chap that I know at work, and he works long hours, much more than me. I'm out there 5 o'clock, sod that. But he's there all hours, and he travels in from quite a way. He's a big gamer as well. He loves his PC MMOs. He likes World of Tanks, EVE Online, and that's a big favourite of his. But he spends a lot of his time travelling and then being in work, and he actually doesn't have enough time to put as much work in on the games as what he needs to or he'd like to. So he actually likes the microtransactions model, whereby he doesn't have to sit there and grind for 10, 15 hours to get to a level where perhaps his mates are already at, who have had the time to play it. Now he can pay £15 from the get-go, whatever, get himself a boost and get himself on par. So again, we're all adults at the end of the day here. Most of us, I'd say, maybe not Logan, but we make these choices ourselves to buy this stuff and whatnot. And if your circumstances mean that you'd prefer to, or you haven't got the time to put the effort in, you'd happily pay £15. Then who are we really to sit here and judge them? Really, it's up to the person and the circumstances. Now, can they make games more appealing and maybe more restrictive and make it a bit more obvious that there's microtransactions needed? Certainly, but I think the premise is all down to your personal circumstance and the situation that you've got, and whether you're happy to shell out for it.
I have absolutely no problem with microtransactions in free games. Like the microtransactions in Hearthstone, yes, it's frustrating, especially considering, like, take for example Logan, who's recently got the game, and I have such a huge advantage over him. I've put a bit of money into it, not loads, but enough, because I think it's a free game. I want to give something back to the developers as much as anything else. But you will inevitably get ahead quicker. Like I say, the only time I really object to it is just when it's, like I say, especially the big kind of online console games, which I've already forked out a fortune for your shitbag game, and then you expect me to sink more money or get left behind. That is my bugbear.
Yeah, if you can only, if it's play to win, if you have to, pay to win, then that's where and you've already got to pay for the game up front, then I'll draw the line at that point.
To be fair, I don't think many games, if any, actually have sort of, you have to pay to get that microtransaction to then win or be better at the game. I think generally it's aesthetic, or you've got a chance to get something which you would otherwise can still get through the game.
I think there's a lot more PC games out there that have that problem. Where so that H1Z1 come out, and that's pretty much you pay to have an airdrop, which evidently other fuckers can steal. So you could pay £5 for an airdrop that has weapons and armour and that, which you can't just pick up in the game I don't think you can pick it up at all. You have to get these types of weapons, like the automatic weapons. You have to do this, and
It's not on, is it? That ain't
you can
on.
have you can have it stolen. You
And
can-
that's
It's
another
not
thing,
on, is
like
it?
a single-use microtransaction. Like at least
Sure.
with a pack of cards, either
You keep
be
that
it
pack.
FIFA or Hearthstone, or something like that. Yeah, I've got it and I keep it. Whereas like Candy Crush with lives, I lose them
gone.
straight away. I have to rebuy them. I've got nothing for my money. I've got no.
Yeah.
I've just like you say, like paying £5 for an airdrop can fuck off.
Yeah.
That ain't happening. That is
Nah,
just
that's-
ridiculous.
They've been slated for it, and rightly so. But I think that's a wrap, guys. Thanks for that. As always, if you want to contact us on Twitter, it's @DimpDigital. Facebook is facebook.com/DimpDigital. And of course, the email is dimpdigitalmedia@gmail.com. Find us and subscribe to us on YouTube. Once again, just search for Dimp Digital. We're the only bastards there of that name, so you won't get snarled up on anything else. But that's it for now. Game over. It's goodbye from Logan.
Cheers.
It's goodbye from Hall.
It's all right.
And it's goodbye from me, Joe Appleyard. Thanks for your time, and ta-da. You're all ready here now?
Built ready.
Well, don't know about that.
I've got a bogey though. It's
Well,
gonna
scratch
come
that
out.
now, so I don't want it. Eat it. Get it out of my system.
Brilliant. Just sniff it that well.
Yeah, that.
I'm trying to just dislodge it. Or
All right, get your finger up there and pull it out, and then look at it. If it looks edible, eat it.
I think I've got rid of
Cost
it. I
yourself
just,
halfway through.
All
I'm
right.
not
You'll
100%
sneeze
sure.
and you'll get it come out, and then it'll
I
be
do
like,
not
oh, there it
want
is.
sniffing on the podcast, if possible, boys. All right, let's start now. Hello, and welcome to... Oh, no, it was always happening, wasn't it?
I couldn't help myself.
Who's snorting? Who's snorting? Was that the both of you? Was that just
I'm
Logan?
struggling with that booger.
Oh, God.
Oh dear.